I'm now on the Naylor Car Club with David Naylor. Good afternoon, David, and welcome to the Classic Motor Show 2024.
Thank you very much indeed for that welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. We're really enjoying it. It's good to be back. Last time we were here in 21, just after COVID, and then we left it for a couple of years because of health reasons, that sort of thing. It's great to be back.
So, you're probably one of the best people to talk to about the history of the car.
Probably, yes, because I was directly involved in the original development of the whole project, and then the formation of the new public limited company that was formed to build these vehicles, etc. My brother was the one who was the main driver of the project and was full-time in the business. I was only part-time, but with a financial background I was very heavily involved in the development of the project. Yeah.
So have you got a rough idea how many Naylors were actually produced?
Yes. There were 161 cars produced. The reason for 161 is because Austin Rover would only sell us 161 what's called drivetrains. In other words, engines, gearbox and back axles, because the engine they were recommending to us was one that they were phasing out. It's a 1700cc engine. It works brilliantly in this car, but they said whilst you build the 160, if you can, it'll be up to you to develop, say, a 2-litre engine that would go into it.
Yeah, to replace it eventually.
Yes, so that would be, as you say, that's right. When we'd built the 160 odd, then you'd put a different engine in. That was the original intention. It didn't work out that way, but that was what was intended.
So what happened in the end? Did he just do the 161?
Yeah, well, what happened is we as Naylor actually managed to build just over 100 that were badged Naylor, and then that business ran out of money. There are good reasons why it did, but it ran out of money and we had to sell the business, and another company called Hudson came and took the business over, and Hudson finished off the remaining 60 odd cars to build up to 161. So we built just over 100 and 660 under the name of Hudson. Same car, different name.
Right. So are any being manufactured now, or is that it?
No. This was all done in basically the middle 1980s through to just the beginning of the 1990s, and that's it. There've been no more built since. And I would think it's highly doubtful there ever would be. But then, of course, a club was formed after that, so there is a good Naylor family still around with a lot of cars in the UK. Some went overseas, some went to Japan, and a few left-hand drive were built, which went into Europe.
So, can you tell me something about the 3 cars on the stand?
Yes, I can. There's a sort of dark red one in front of us. That is the first original prototype as a car. It's actually number 2, chassis number 2. Chassis 1 was a mock-up. Chassis number 2 is this car, which is as near to the fully legislated example as you can get. There are a couple of touches changed. We had to make 9 prototypes before we could get the car fully legislated, because it's not a kit car, it's a fully legislated vehicle. So that's that one. So that is unique, and that car was launched here as the Naylor project 40 years ago at the then International Motor Show. Yeah. So that's that car, owned by me, used quite frequently.
So what about this one here?
This car is one of the Naylor produced cars. It's in itself is unusual because it's what's called a pearlescent white. In other words, it's a metallic white paint. There are only about 3 that we built in this colour, and it's very unusual and it's fantastic in sunshine.
Yeah, I didn't realise that. I was just thinking it was cream. It's funny, isn't it?
No, it is. I mean, it almost looks.
I can see it now, yeah.
As well, doesn't it? But it is actually a metallic car. But that's a normal production one. That's how they came out. Veneered dashboard, all that sort of stuff. Very pretty machine.
So what about the one? Is that the Hudson then?
That one up there. The other white one is actually a Hudson.
Right.
That's number 131, so it's only 30 from the end. And that's one that, it's the same vehicle, but that's one of the examples where it's called Hudson rather than Naylor. Otherwise, literally the same vehicle.
Yeah. Same right the way through then?
Right the way through.
Just changing. But did they actually change the name? Or?
They did. They re-registered the name.
Really?
Yeah, so that became the Hudson Motor Co. rather than the Naylor Car Co. And therefore the vehicle was called a Hudson TF rather than a Naylor TF.
And what year was that then?
That was in 1986 that change happened.
Right,
And then the Hudson family slowed down production, and I think they finished the last vehicle, I think it was in 1991, so they sort of spread it over about 5 years. Yeah.
Well, thank you, David, for all that information. That's brilliant. I was just lucky to get you, really, because you know more than anybody, really.
I suspect that probably is true, yes. Yes, of those of us that are still around now, I probably am the most well informed.
Well, thanks very much, David.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure meeting you as well.
Thank you.
Very much indeed.